There is a woman in Wichita, Kansas named Nadine Sorrell. She is 76 years old. Last spring, Nadine made 3 phone calls from her kitchen table. 3 calls. She was on hold about 50 minutes across all 3, and she almost hung up twice. 6 weeks later, her monthly Social Security deposit went up by $570. Not a one-time check, not a refund. Every single month for the rest of her life. Now, $570 a month does not sound like it should change anybody's life. But run it out. That is $6,840 a year. Over 20 years of retirement, that is more than $136,000. That is a paid-off car, a new roof, and the difference between choosing groceries or choosing medicine at the end of the month. All of it was sitting there the whole time. Nobody stole it from Nadine. Nobody denied her. She was simply never told it existed. And that is the part that makes me angry on your behalf. Nadine had been collecting Social Security for 11 years. 11 years of letters. 11 years of statements. And not one of them said, "Pick up the phone and ask us this specific question." The Social Security Administration is not required to call you and tell you that you qualify for more money. Medicare is not required either. They administer what you apply for. That is the whole system in one sentence. If you do not ask, the answer is no, forever. And it is a quiet no that nobody ever tells you about. So today I am giving you the 3 phone calls in order, exactly the way Nadine made them. Call 1 is the one most married, widowed, or divorced seniors have never made, and it is worth a few $100s a month by itself. Call 2 takes about 9 minutes, and it stops Medicare from overcharging you on money you do not make anymore. And call 3, I am saving the biggest one for last, because it is worth the most money, and it is the one people disqualify themselves from the fastest. The government's own estimate puts that third one at around $5,900 a year. Here is how this is going to go. For each call, I will tell you who you are calling, the exact phone number, exactly who qualifies, and, this is the important part, the exact words to say when a human being finally picks up. Because the biggest reason these calls fail is that people describe their situation instead of asking the specific question that triggers the specific review. Say the wrong thing and you get "You're all set, ma'am." Say the right thing and a file gets opened. My name is Ellis Grant. I am not a lawyer. I do not work for the government, and I do not make one dime whether you make these calls or not. What I do is read the actual rules, the program manuals, the forms, the fine print nobody reads, and say them out loud in plain English so you do not have to. And before we start, hear one thing, because it is the reason most people watching this will do nothing. You are about to think, "That is nice, but not me. My income is too high. My savings are too much. I already asked years ago. My husband handled it." I do not care how sure you are. I have watched people with a pension and a paid-off house qualify for 2 of these 3, and I have watched people who already asked find out they asked the wrong question to the wrong department. The limits are higher than you think. They changed recently, and "I already checked" almost never means what people think it means. Stay with me. The worst case is you make 1 free phone call and hear no. But first, the question I get more than any other. If this money is real, why has nobody told me? The answer is not a conspiracy. It is simpler, and honestly, it is worse. No single person in the system is assigned to look at your whole life and tell you what you are missing. Think about who you have actually talked to. The person at the Social Security office handled the claim in front of them. If you walked in and said, "I want to file for my retirement benefit," that is what they processed. They did not go digging through your marriage history to see if a bigger number was available. Your Medicare premium is set by a computer that reads a tax return from 2 years ago and mails you a letter. There is no human in that loop at all. And your drug plan is run by a private insurance company, with no incentive to tell you the federal government will pay your premium for you. Every one of those systems does exactly what it was built to do. Not one of them was built to look after you. They wait to be asked. So the burden, unfairly, but truly, sits on a 76-year-old woman at a kitchen table with a phone. The only fix I know is to hand you the exact questions, so the asking takes 20 minutes instead of 20 years. Let us make call 1. Call 1 goes to Social Security, and it asks for one specific thing: a review of whether you are entitled to a higher benefit on someone else's earnings record. Here it is in one sentence. Social Security does not only pay you on your own work record, it can pay you up to half of your husband's or wife's full retirement benefit instead, if half of theirs is bigger than all of yours. Read that again, because it is the whole thing. Up to 50% of their number. If you spent years raising children, or working part-time, or in a job that paid cash, your own record is thin. Half of a fuller record can easily beat all of a thin one. Social Security pays you the higher of the two, not both. But higher is higher. Now, the number. This varies enormously by household, but the gap routinely runs between $200 and $500 a month, and I have seen it larger. In Nadine's case, call 1 alone was $311 a month. Who qualifies? And here is where I need you to stop talking yourself out of it, because there are 3 groups, and most people only know the first. Group 1, you are married, and your spouse has already filed for their own benefit. Straightforward. Group 2, you are widowed. A survivor benefit can be up to 100% of what your late husband or wife was receiving. And here is the piece that costs people the most money. If you were already collecting your own small benefit when they passed, Social Security does not always automatically move you up to the bigger survivor amount. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it does not, and the difference is gone for good. Group 3, and almost nobody knows this one. You are divorced. If you were married at least 10 years, you are currently unmarried, and your ex-spouse is at least 62, you may be able to collect on their record. Now listen to the 4 things people get wrong, because every one of them makes somebody hang up the phone. You do not need your ex-spouse's permission. You do not need to contact them. It takes nothing, not 1 penny, away from their check or their new spouse's check, and they are never notified. It is not a claim against them. It is a claim against a system they paid into. You are not taking it from him. He will not feel it, and he will not know. It was your 10 years too. Let me tell you about Loretta Hensley, 71, Springfield, Missouri. Loretta worked 22 years as a school aide and raised 3 kids in between, so her own Social Security came to about $940 a month. She was married to her first husband 14 years, divorced in 1988, and had not spoken to him since Reagan was in office. She assumed that chapter was closed in every possible way. Her daughter-in-law made her call. Loretta was mortified, certain she would be told she was being greedy. What she was told, after 20 minutes on hold and 8 minutes with a claims representative, was that half of her ex-husband's benefit came to $1,360, $420 a month more than she was getting. The representative opened the review right there on the phone. Loretta cried in her kitchen, and not because she was sad. Here is how you make the call. The number is 1-800-772-1213. That is Social Security's national line. Call right when they open in the morning. Shortest hold. Have your Social Security number ready, and if you are divorced or widowed, the approximate dates, when you married, when it ended. And now the exact words. Do not tell your life story. Say this: I would like to request a benefit comparison. I am currently receiving benefits on my own record. I would like you to check whether I am entitled to a higher amount, as a spouse, a former spouse, or a survivor on someone else's record. Then stop talking, let them work. If they say you are all set, ask this follow-up and write it down. Can you confirm you compared my own benefit against the spousal or survivor amount, and tell me what that other figure was? That question is the difference between a real check and a shrug. Either a number comes back, or you politely ask for a supervisor. Now I have to stop and warn you, because everything I just told you is about to be used against you. The moment seniors start calling Social Security about extra money, a certain kind of person starts calling seniors about extra money. Burn these 3 rules in. 1. Social Security will not call you out of the blue to say you qualify for more money. They do not do outbound sales. If your phone rings and someone says they are from Social Security with good news about a benefit increase, that call is a fraud. 100% of the time. No exceptions. 2. Every single thing in this video is free. No filing fee, no processing fee. Nobody can move you to the front of the line for $200. If money is requested in any form, a gift card, a wire, a payment app, your card number, just to verify, hang up. You do not need to be polite. 3. Direction matters more than anything. You call them. They do not call you. 1-800-772-1213 dialed by you from a number you looked up yourself. Never a number that was texted or emailed to you. And if a voice ever tells you your Social Security number has been suspended, that is not a real thing. It cannot happen. Social Security numbers do not get suspended. That sentence is a script criminals read, and hearing it should relax you, not frighten you, because now you know exactly what you are talking to. All right. Call 2. Call 2 is about money being taken out of your check right now, this month, for a reason that stopped being true years ago. Here is what it is. Your Medicare Part B premium is not the same for everybody. Above a certain income line, you pay a surcharge on top of the standard premium. The government calls it the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, and everyone else calls it IRMAA. That surcharge comes straight out of your Social Security deposit before you ever see it. And here is the design flaw. The income they use is not this year's income. It is the income on your tax return from 2 years ago. Think about what that means for someone who just retired. 2 years ago, you were working. Maybe you sold the house, or cashed out a retirement account, or took a lump sum payout, or your spouse was still on payroll. That was your peak income year. And Medicare is charging you today based on a version of your life that no longer exists. The number. At the first surcharge level, you are overpaying roughly $88 a month, between Part B and Part D combined. At the higher levels, it climbs steeply. The top brackets run well over $500 a month. That is money coming out of a fixed income for no reason at all. There is a form that fixes it. It is the SSA 44. Its actual title is Medicare Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, Life-Changing Event. That phrase, life-changing event, is the key that turns the lock. So, who qualifies? Anybody whose income dropped for one of the reasons on the government's own list. And here is the list, because people assume it is narrow, and it is not. Work stoppage, that means you retired. Work reduction, you cut back to part-time. The death of a spouse. Divorce or annulment. Marriage. Loss of a pension. Loss of income-producing property. An employer settlement payment. Retirement is on that list. Retiring is the most ordinary thing a person over 65 can do. And it is a qualifying life-changing event. Millions are paying a surcharge based on their final working year and do not know a form exists. The self-exclusion here is specific, so let me kill it. People tell me, I never got a letter about a surcharge, so this is not me. You did get a letter. It came from Social Security. It was an initial determination notice about your Medicare premium, and it arrived in a stack of Medicare mail in the fall. Nobody reads that stack. The faster check? Look at your bank statement. Compare your gross Social Security amount to what actually landed. If the gap is bigger than the standard Part B premium, you are paying a surcharge. Clarence Bishop, 77, Macon, Georgia. Clarence retired from a regional utility company at 75. His last full year of work included a payout of unused leave and a pension election, so his income that year looked much larger than his life ever did. 2 years later, on a retirement income of about $40,000, Medicare was still charging him at the surcharge rate, $117 a month, more than he owed. $1,400 a year, taken from a man with no job because a computer was reading an old tax return. He filed the SSA 44, he attached a copy of his retirement letter as proof, and the surcharge came off. Then Social Security refunded the months he had overpaid that year. How to make the call? Same number, 1-800-772-1213. You can also do this at your local office, and honestly, for this one, an in-person appointment with your documents in hand is the fastest route if you can manage it. Have ready proof. The event happened. A retirement letter, a severance letter, a death certificate, a divorce decree, and a reasonable estimate of this year's income. An estimate is allowed. You are not being asked to predict the future perfectly. The exact words, I need to file a Form SSA 44 to report a life-changing event. My income has gone down since the tax year you are using because I retired. I would like my Medicare premium recalculated using my current income. If the person hesitates, add, the event is work stoppage. Those 2 words are on their list. They will find it. Now the one I have been saving, call 3, is the biggest of the 3 by a wide margin. It is called Extra Help. The official name is the Medicare Part D Low-Income Subsidy. What it does is pay for your prescription drug coverage, the monthly premium, the deductible, and most of what you hand over at the pharmacy counter. The number, and this is Social Security's own published estimate, not mine. Extra Help is worth about $5,900 a year to the people who receive it. Call it roughly $490 a month in value. Some of it shows up directly in your Social Security deposit, because when Extra Help covers your Part D premium, that premium stops being deducted from your check. The rest shows up at the pharmacy, where a prescription that cost $47 starts costing a few dollars instead. And there is a second thing this call does that almost nobody hears about, which is why it is my favorite of the three. When you apply for Extra Help through Social Security sends your information to your state to have you considered for a Medicare savings program, the program where the state pays your Part B premium for you. One application, two programs. You do not have to ask twice. Now, who qualifies? And I am going to be very direct, because this is the most self-excluded from benefit in the entire American system. Extra Help has an income limit and a savings limit. Roughly, the income limit lands in the low 20,000s for a single person and the low 30,000s for a married couple. The savings limit is in the high teens of thousands single, mid 30,000s for a couple. I am giving you rounded figures on purpose because they change every year. They rise with inflation, and the exact current numbers are the one thing you should let the person on the phone tell you, instead of deciding for yourself. There are people denied Extra Help in 2019 who would qualify today, because the limits rose and they never reapplied. And now the four things that do not count the way you think they do, because these are what stop people. Your house does not count. Your primary home is not a countable resource, no matter what it is worth. Your car does not count, and in most cases, neither does the second one. Your burial fund does not count, up to a set amount, and your household goods, your furniture, your wedding ring, your personal belongings, none of it counts. So, when someone tells me, I have too much saved, what they usually mean is, I own a home worth $240,000, a car, and I have $11,000 in the bank. That person very likely qualifies. The limit applies to money in accounts, not to the life you built. Arnold Pierce, 80, Erie, Pennsylvania. Arnold takes 6 prescriptions: heart, blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid, and 2 more. He was paying about $230 a month at the counter, plus a $38 Part D premium out of his Social Security. He had never applied for anything in his life, and he said the sentence I hear more than any other: I don't want to be on welfare. Arnold, this is not welfare. You paid into Medicare out of every paycheck for 43 years. This is a program inside Medicare funded by taxes you already paid, and refusing it does not send the money to somebody who needs it more. It sends it nowhere. He applied. He was approved. His premium went to 0. His copays dropped under $5 a prescription, and his state came back separately and picked up his Part B premium too. Between the drug savings and the premiums, Arnold's household is a little over $300 a month better off, every month. Making the call. 2 ways, because people have different comfort levels. The phone number is the same, 1-800-772-1213. You can apply right there with a representative, and the form is the SSA 1020. You can also do it online at the official site, ssa.gov. But on the phone, a human being fills it in with you, and for most people watching this, that is the better road. Have ready your Social Security number, your bank and account balances, any investment or retirement account balances, and your Medicare card. The exact words, I would like to apply for Extra Help with my Medicare prescription drug costs. I would also like my application sent to my state for Medicare Savings Program screening. That second sentence doubles the value of the call. Say it, and if you are told you do not qualify, ask one question before you accept it. What figure did you use for my countable resources, and did that include my home or my vehicle? I have seen that question reverse a denial because the caller had reported their house as an asset when they should not have. So why this month, rather than whenever you get around to it? Because with all three, the calendar is not on your side. These are not retroactive to when you first qualified. They are retroactive, at best, to somewhere near when you applied. On the spousal and survivor side, there is a limit on how far back Social Security will pay. For most retirement side claims, it is a handful of months, not years. On the Medicare premium correction, you are generally fixing the current year. On extra help, coverage starts around when you apply, not on the day you became eligible. Run the arithmetic on waiting, because it is brutally simple. If the 3 calls are worth $570 a month to you, every month you do not make them costs $570 you never get back. Not delayed. Gone. Waiting 1 year is $6,840 that simply does not exist anymore. There is nobody at Social Security whose job is to notice that you waited. There is no back pay for not knowing. That is the entire reason this video exists. So let us add it up honestly. Call 1, the spousal survivor or divorced spouse review, routinely $200 to $500 a month, sometimes more. Call 2, the SSA 44 premium correction, about $88 a month at the first level, hundreds at the higher ones. Call 3, extra help plus the state screening it triggers. Around $490 a month in value by the government's own estimate. Nobody gets the top of all three. You do not need the top of all three. Nadine got $311 from the first and the rest from the third, and it came to $570 a month. One conversation. Each. All free. All from a kitchen table. If it helps to have this in front of you instead of in your ear, I keep a single written page with all 3 phone scripts on it, just the exact words, nothing else. And I will put it wherever you are watching this. It costs nothing. I would rather you have the words in your hand when somebody finally picks up. Let me finish with Nadine, because I left something out of her story on purpose. Nadine Sorrell almost did not make the first call. Not because she thought she did not qualify, because she was embarrassed. She had been married 19 years to a man she divorced in 1994, and the idea of saying his name to a federal employee felt, in her words, like begging. So she waited until she was 76. Count what that cost. If the divorced spouse review had been worth even $300 a month starting at 66, 10 years of not asking cost her about $36,000. Nobody took it. She was not denied. It was never claimed, because a good, proud woman thought a program she had paid into for decades was charity. She told me the thing that finally got her to dial was her granddaughter saying, "Grandma, it's not his money. It's a formula. It is a formula." That is exactly what it is. There is no clerk deciding whether you deserve it, no committee weighing whether you have been humble enough. There is a rule, there are numbers, and the numbers do not know your name. The only variable in the whole process is whether the phone gets picked up. So here they are one more time, and then I will let you go. Call 1-800-772-1213. I would like to request a benefit comparison, spouse, former spouse, or survivor. Everybody makes this call. Married, widowed, or divorced 10 years or more. Call 2, same number. I need to file a form SSA 44 to report a life-changing event. I retired. Make this call if you have retired or your income has dropped since the tax return Medicare is using. Call 3, same number. I would like to apply for extra help with my Medicare prescription drug costs, and please send my application to my state for Medicare Savings Program screening. Make this call even if you are certain you make too much. Especially then. One honest note. I am not a lawyer, I am not a financial advisor, and I do not work for Social Security. The exact income and resource limits change every year, so let the person on the phone tell you the current figures, rather than taking my rounded numbers as gospel. Nothing here is advice about your specific situation. It is a map to the right department and the right question. And if you do one thing after this video, let it be this. Do not just save it for yourself. Somebody in your life, over 65, is quietly overpaying or quietly undercollecting and has no idea. It is probably a widow. It is probably somebody too proud to ask. Send this to them, or better, sit down beside them and dial the number together. 50 minutes on hold, once, for the rest of their life. I am Ellis Grant. I read the rules so you do not have to. Take care of yourself and go make the call.